Right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be starting panel 6. The panelists that we have are Mr. Boštjan Oblak, co-founder of Comunity 8 Slovenia, Marko Gajić, founder of the European Water Sommelier Association Slovenia, Mr. Danijel Galjot, F&B manager of Hotel Triglav Bled Slovenia, which is a Michelin recommended restaurant, and we have Miss Silvia Stefanuca Serban, fine drinks expert, Divina Sips from Romania. And joining online, we have Miss Elisabetta Neri, owner of NBE Inspiring Club Events from Italy. Miss Ruruki Suzuki, director of Japan's Aqua Sommelier. She will have a translator and a presentation. And also joining online is Estor Albord, former managing director of Slovenian Spas Association Slovenia. Before we start, we have a short video from Miss Joana Vallejo, Sommelier, a la Carta, Mexico. So if we could please start with that short introduction.
My name is Joana Vallejo. I'm a water sommelier from Mexico, and I'm truly honored to be here with you today. Let me start by telling you something surprising. Mexico is one of the countries that consumes the most bottled water in the world. Why? Because in most places in Mexico, tap water is not safe to drink. In our homes, we usually buy large plastic bottles called garrafones, which are 20-liter jugs of purified water. Even when water comes from natural sources like springs or wells, we still have to treat or purify it in some way. There's always process involved, even if it's subtle. In fact, there is no fully drinkable tap water for the general population in Mexico. This means that every household must either boil, filter, or buy their water. It's not just a matter of taste. It's about health and safety. Now, I come from Uruapan, Michoacán, a region known for its abundance of water. We have rivers, springs, and very rich ecosystems. And yet, even in a place like that, we still need to purify the water before we can drink it. This really inspired me. I start to wonder, how can I change this? How can we respect water not just as a resource, but also as a product with character, quality, and culture? So I became a water sommelier, and for over a year now, I've been organizing water tasting catas de agua to help people discover the diversity of water, its origins, mineral composition, textures, and even how it pairs with food. My dream is to help grow a real water culture in Mexico, where water is not just a utility, but a respected category, like wine or coffee. I want people to ask, where does this water come from? How was it treated? What does it taste like? Because when we value water, we take better care of it. Thank you for letting me share a bit of my world with you.
Wow, what a moving introduction all the way from Mexico. It's really nice to see so many water advocates, water sommeliers from all around the world contributing to the narrative of what we're going to be discussing today. So, as our taps, our kitchens, hotel service evolve, so does water. No longer just a side note, but central character in health, sensory, and sustainability. This panel is going to be exploring the future of daily hydration and water on the menu, and what does this mean in terms of gastronomy, i.e. water and food and everyday life. So I'm going to start off with Marko. This is a new trend, a new subject that's been researched by BWF and other partners. Explain the water menu. What does this mean? And where is it going to be going?
Please show me the picture. When we started researching water, we quickly recognized that we need to help hospitality sector. The one problem is because people cannot understand water. The another problem is that hospitality sector is not ready for that. The third problem is how, if we're gonna educate hospitality sector, how they gonna transfer that knowledge to the guests. Impossible, because they don't have enough time to explain all the general details about water. So that's why we take a decision and to create this water menu, which is completely new. Why? Because as you can see on the picture here, we can take a look and you will find all the details about the food. So if we go from point 1 to point 6, this is the compass for water. So we go from, let's say, almost distilled water to high mineral content of water with CO2. And on each edge, you can find the food pairing and the wine pairing. So that's what we are creating together with Acuity 8 program, European Water Sommelier Association, and also Danijel Galjot it is still part of it. What's the point here? You will see also these water menus today at the lunch. On the left corner is empty space there. At the restaurant, you will recognize the names of the brands. And the point here is that you choose the right number based on what you're gonna eat. So let's say some light food or heavy food, or you will drink white wine, red wine, and everything is set here. So if you're gonna eat some heavy food, let's say meat, steak, T-bone, with some, let's say, strong, how can I say in English, omaka? Sauce, sorry. With some strong sauce, then we're gonna recommend number 5 or 6. And you will see at the menu in restaurant that on the left down corner, we're gonna recommend some brands. And you will have these waters on the table and you can choose it. That's gonna be the perfect match. So what that means? That means that the food will follow the taste of water and vice versa. This is just a basis where we are looking for synergies between water and food. Then we can also bring you another menu where we could deliver the upgrades. Okay, this is something special and it's one step forward from that. So what that means when we are talking about upgrades, my colleague Daniel will explain that later. If you pick up number 1 or number 2, you can start with 1 with some salads, number 2 with some light dishes. Fish, for example, trout fish would be a good choice, but not a salmon, because salmon is a fatty fish, so you need to go a little bit higher. Okay? So this is also something revolutionary, because it's gonna bring you a new dimension how to connect water with food, and it's very easy to understand it, and your guests will be extremely surprised when they're gonna see this. So we are already implementing these water menus not just in Slovenia but also abroad. And I heard that we have some representatives from the hospitality sector. And if you would like to have this water menu, just let us know and we're gonna help you. We're gonna update the menu. And also we can support you with the Acuity 8 program and to get all these waters. So on one side, we're gonna deliver to you some new knowledge. On the other side, we're gonna also deliver to you the cleanest water from this planet Earth. And this is the point where I could say that we change the world with this approach, because it's completely different approach. It's a huge upgrade and one big step forward. But this is only the beginning. This menu, 100% sure that next year when we're gonna present new topics, we're gonna present another picture, more details, and many, many other things. Because these topics are developing so fast that sometimes we cannot follow.
Thank you, Marko. I think what resonates with me with this, it's inclusive. Water is inclusive for all. Everyone can have an experience, if it's from dining or experiencing different waters with a better understanding. And families can sit down together. There's a huge trend of no alcohol consumption or less alcohol consumption, and this fits the gap. If you asked someone 10 years ago, water and food pairing, they would have laughed. But right now, with the guidance of these structured menus or a how-to guide, it opens new experiences that people can celebrate and people can enjoy. So I'm going to move over to Boštjan. Based on all the great work that you shared with Equinity 8, this amazing journey that you've been on to help people understand water, based on the water menu, which would have been new to you, what have you learned as part of this journey, and what have you adapted into Equinity 8 to take to the world?
The main goal of Equinity protocols is high quality of the water. I'm not an expert in gastronomy. Actually, Marko could tell you that I'm a bit difficult when it comes to food. But we've been very overwhelmed by interest, not by the water producers for our program, but also from restaurants, hotels, and it doesn't end here. Also, educational organizations, health organizations, they all realize that they need to make more attention to water and to the quality of the water. With regards to the menu, what we have seen is that the restaurants that have this water menu, guests usually choose one of the waters that it's on the menu and not those that are not, because they see that there is a bit more information about this water. And I've noticed that when they order it, they taste it, not just drink it, but they taste it and try to realize and understand what the menu is trying to tell them. And what we have also seen and we predicted is that, well, maybe I'll start somewhere else. I started to judge the restaurant by the water they serve and how they serve it. Because everything starts with water. Almost every dish that is served needs some water, either while growing or while it's prepared. And I love tea, good tea. It's hard to get good tea in Slovenia, for example. And when I get it, I want to be prepared with not just any water. So I have done a lot of testing myself which water is best for tea. But what have I seen from restaurants is that they have started cooking with water, with bottled water, not with tap water. Usually they don't care how, for example, most of the restaurants cook pasta in water, tap water, whereas that has chlorine in it and even worse. And we're kind of enjoying when I read the recipe for a soup where a certain brand of water was used for that soup. And I think that those of you that are really love fine dining will find this very exciting.
Thank you, Boštjan. Over to you, Sylvia. You've been a sommelier for many years and explored a variety of ways water can be paired with food, gastronomy. Romania has what I consider a very cool drinking water culture, really understanding different sources and how that's been adapted. Could you share with the audience your experiences of having this relationship with water and food, and where do you think this trend is going?
Thank you. So not to brag or anything, but Romania has approximately 60% of the resources of natural water from Europe. And we also have approximately 2,000 springs certified and attested. However, we do have a good culture for water. We value water a lot. We are an agricultural country, so droughts and the lack of water is really important to us. We even have songs for kids that make water come, and priests that do incantations in the land just to water to be there. So we value water. One of my favorite memories with the family was our dad taking us to these springs in one of the counties in Romania, in the Carpathians. And they had signs like, this water is good for eye problems, this water is good for stomach problems, and so on. So water is super valuable to us and is really important. However, when it comes to premium waters and positioning these waters in restaurants, we lack some kind of good approach. Most of the fine dining restaurants have San Pellegrino and Aquapana all over them, so they promote that as a fine and a premium water. Or we have other certain brands that offer marketing budgets to restaurants. So at the end of the year, they give some 10% of the turnover or the acquisitions of water back to the restaurant. So it's really hard for me to go and pitch a water menu when these kind of brands, or this kind of brand, because it's one of them, it's taking over the market. However, my family runs a business as a hotel and restaurant, and I'm trying to get started from there. And I implemented the first water menu in Romania there because it was obviously easier and logistically better for me to present to people a water menu. And their feedback was really amazing. The feedback from the guests was amazing. The water tasting, the water pairings were super valuable to them, also in comparison to wine and other drinks. I'm also a water sommelier, but a sake sommelier, a wine sommelier, and I'm undergoing a tea certification. So I always do these kind of pairings with other drinks. I'm treating sometimes water as a champagne, and starting with it, I'm also using water at the end of the menu like like a spirit. For example, donut I put at the end of the menu in a shot to clear up everything after the meal. So I'm doing a lot of interesting stuff, and I see people are into it. My first water masterclass representation was inside a wine festival. And I had people saying on social media that the best part of the wine festival was the water tasting. So I think that's a very cool fact. And we also do in other kind of events, water bars, water corners, or hydration stations, as we call them. But you have to be there to explain everything to the guests. It's hard to implement. When we have like a wine bar or a wine corner, I just put bottles there, and when they say Bordeaux or Pomerol or something that is really knowledgeable to them, they just go put it in a glass and drink it. However, when we have water, they either go to Aquapana if there's there, or they don't. At this point, there's one point I put these cans of perlage on a water bar. And one of the guests took it and says, "Wow, so cool. What a nice branding," and opened it and tasted it. And he was like, "Oh, this is just water." And I'm like, no. Come here, let me explain you, Jon Snow, you know nothing. So you have to tell them a lot. As Marko was saying, on our menus, on our water menu, I have everything written down because I cannot relate to the waiter to say to the guest exactly what I want him to hear. I have, besides the chemical structure, besides the pairing with the food that we have in the menu, I also tell the story of the water, the story of the branding. It has a history, short or long. So it's really important that we send this information in writing also, and not only relying on what the guests should experience.
Fantastic. Thank you for that. And again, it's giving the audience, consumers, a new experience with water, but
Yeah, so it's basically turning water from a commodity to an experience. I think that's the bottom line.
The key messaging, yeah. And we've all presented water, and I think you're absolutely right to have that accolade of it was more interesting having a water tasting than a spirit tasting, which not everybody is inclusive to. It's very powerful that your consumers, your audience are already feeding that bag when it's supposed to be a wine tasting. So I think there's a lot of movement onto this, and we're going to move on to Daniel. Okay. It's BWF's 10th year. Okay. If Marko Gajić approached you 10 years ago and said, hey, I would like to create a water menu with you, what would you have said?
I would recommend some glass of wine.
Okay.
And that's because I'm in the wine business more than 10 years. We start drinking pretty young, so. But anyway,
what's this journey gone?
Well, first for all the listeners, welcome to Slovenia, welcome in Bled, and welcome in Villa. So the great building. For me, is the water just one upgrade to my knowledge to the other drinks. I start really like very young guy. I was, I think, 18 years old when I passed level 2. So the youngest is Slovenia, actually. So a lot of knowledge about the wine, a little bit knowledge about the gins and the other spirits. But anyway, through the all the history and everything, in all the exams of the wine, we have also the exams of the waters, because if you are good with the wines, the same, and at the one point you come to the water, what we did with Marko and what we will do, it's actually something very natural. It's just the part of the experience. How to become water sommelier just directly? That's because when you go to some point, you need some extra knowledge. And we were in one party in some other place in Bled, and it was so interesting for me that I just go to the Marko and say, I just want to be the water sommelier. It's so cool. It was more than 100 people in one place. We have many different all the culinary plates of Slovenia with the wine pairings and everything, but the stage with Marko and that water was something totally different. Around 50% of people goes to his table, not to mine. So because of that, I also connect with Marko, and we start with our story. First, the EUSA program, it's pretty intensive for the people from the beginning, but after that, you know that you are now in the totally different story, in the new world. It's a lot of space for the new knowledge, and for the people who works in a hospitality business, I think it's a very nice opportunity to upgrade your knowledge. Water is the part of all the drinks, pretty much the part of the spirits, the parts of the wine, the parts of the beers, and so on. So that's actually the part of everything. If you know the basics, then you know how you will pair the water or other drinks with the food. And now the story begins. The Marko sent me a bone before about upgrading, yeah. Now we start after that course of sommelier, water sommelier. I just saw a few holes because I know how that goes from the wine sommelier. So we started with Marko and cooperate. I just sent him all the info what we need to do in the future, and he just Daniel, just stop a little bit. But anyway, it's very interesting. Now we will start with some different wine and water and spirits pairing, because my opinion is still like that all sommeliers need to care for all the drinks, so for all the beverage, and our mission is that all the guests goes from our restaurants with better experience, and on the long term we just need to put all the beverage in, and our mission is that we protect the culture of drinking all the drinks. That's the highest purpose. Yeah, and we need to do good, and we need to show people how to do that. After that, we will respect all the beverage, we and all our guests. And after we will respect the beverage, we will respect the sources, the farmers, the everything around it, and world will be better.
Totally agree with you, Daniel. And when you uncover and teach the sources, it really interacts with people. You know, you're a very respected food and beverage manager. And now with this water sommelier educational element, but applying new experiences for your guests, what is the feedback from your guests, and what impact does that have on the business?
I need to be honest, or what?
Yeah.
We have a big problem in Bled, and not only in Bled, in Slovenia, that it's in our back philosophy that we have free water. I don't know, we are the only country in the world that we have free water. And when our guests go to abroad, and the first is the sign, come to Slovenia, here we drink tap water, and all the water is for free. That's the main problem of Slovenian restaurant. That's the main problem. The second problem is that our waiting staff, it's not so educated to show people or to present people how to drink the good water, and why you need to expend 4 or 5 euros for a bottle of water. That's two general things. And in Slovenia, we still have problem with that basic question: do we drink bottled water or tap water? After that, not tomorrow, but maybe a few years, when we will be in such a crisis with tap water, then we will start to respect all the bottled water and all the other drinks.
Thank you for that. Just touching back to Sylvia in regards to the, not just having it being explained, but having sufficient detail, like the Equinity 8 map, or how you've been able to explain it. Do you see just that short, sharp educational element when presenting something, and giving them a bit of a backstory assists with their sort of acceptance to this new experience and sensory element?
Yeah, also touching a bit on the free water, that's also legislation in Romania that all restaurants are mandatory to have this free water filtered or tap. There's this restaurant that was opened, I think, 1 year ago by somebody who's close to my age. So, and they had an education in Switzerland. So she's really keen on promoting gastronomy and everything that's also cool, but in touch with fine dining. And she had free water in the menu, and she also had filtered water with a smaller fee to buy. And she had a lot of bad reviews because people were saying, you make us pay for filtered water, it's just a Brita mug and that's it. So she came to me and she asked me, let's do something to overcome this. And we came up with the idea of the water of the month. And each month we change this water, and we have like this piece of paper that is really cool and with a nice design. And I go there from time to time to talk to the guests. So I think it's really important for people to understand the differences between different brands of water. We obviously chose glass bottle one because we wanted to be a Romanian water, Romanian brand. And we made this piece of paper that is super self-explanatory for all the guests to understand what they're buying and where they're getting. And it's cool. We were talking about the hype of water, but it's cool to have each month a different water and to explain it to guests. And it's a nice way to find different types of presenting the water. So maybe not a water menu that goes through different types of water, but one that changes, and you can make it an event that you change the water. They are going on social media. So now this month we have this different type of water. And what we also did in our restaurant, we included, besides the water tasting, some sort of water products, to say it, that also touches on the cooking with water. We made our own salt. We used a water with a TDS of 16,000. We put it in a dehydrator, and for 10 hours at 60 degrees. And at the end, we had salts of crystal salts. And we also added, for example, carrot juice in it or beetroot juice. And we had different colors of salt. And we used, after that, different types of waters. So we also made them taste the structure of the water. So we went from the water that's liquid, then we went to this crystal salt. And it was really fun for them to understand the differences, not only in taste, because maybe some of them cannot perceive or that subtlety of different waters if they don't have like a good palate, or maybe they're not interested. But when you give them like salt with carrot juice or salt with beetroot juice that changes, it's really interesting and cool to see how that's an aha moment.
Yeah.
They're like, wow, that's nice.
So it's really about the education, but also having a water ambassador within the organization, if it's a restaurant or some level of offering that is able to engage with the guests and give them that experience. So they tell a friend, and it brings in more guests. Brilliant. We're going to be moving over to Elisabetta Neri. This is a bit of a different approach. Is Elisabetta with us?
Quick question. You host the bears, give people experiences, enjoyable experiences that they're going to remember as part of the tea. How is water actually fitted into this? And what is the reaction from your guests?
Well, first of all, allow me to thank Marko for this precious invitation. I'm very sorry not to be able to be there in person. I'm in Naples right now. And allow me to thank our best friend Istok Altbauer from the Slovenian Spa Association, who made me acquainted with Marko, and through him I discovered this magic world of water tasting. It is really, I'm very, very impressed, and yes, I will tell you now or later how I got introduced to the water tasting. But coming to your question, so in Venice, water is our dimension. It's a city on water. But yes, my company, Nebe, we specialize in organizing trade promotional events for the luxury hospitality and travel industry. So we have participants from all around the world getting together, and in particular, a show that is called Travelers Club, which takes place every spring in Venice. And of course, my point of view, as you said, it's a kind of one special, let's say, because I have the privilege of talking to travel and hospitality operators. So, and I can also see the trends, what also clients and consumers are asking for. So I don't know if I replied the question, but I definitely believe that water tasting is a is a new frontier that should definitely be tapped into, especially in the luxury hospitality world, because as someone said, not everyone is willing or necessarily willing to pay for a good bottle of water. But as you're well known, affluent clients have no budget problems. They are always looking for something that makes a difference compared to other places. So I still believe, and more than ever now, that how a luxury hotel and a luxury hotel restaurant should distinguish itself, starting from proposing a water menu.
Thank you. Just a quick question in regards to with your clients, the affluent clients. Do you feel that having this water presentation shifts their mindset to create better access to water with their power or their influence? Does it give them an experience to where it shifts that mindset to say, hey, I'm pretty affluent, but I can help other communities that do not have access to water, which is the key element to why we're all here. But what is the feedback that you receive from this?
Honestly, I did not explore. I can talk as I have a feeling, as I've got feeling, and I would say yes. Also because people are more and more concerned about social responsibility, environmental responsibility, sustainability. It all comes together. So I would say there are two perspectives. One is the approach to water as a product, a special product that can really uplift the experience when having lunch or dinner at a nice restaurant, and a fine restaurant, fine dining. So on one side, the idea of pairing waters, but on the other, I would say it also might be also a very interesting and effective way to, let's say, to leverage and upgrade sustainability on the matter of water, which is so relevant, as you said. So I think the two things can go together. In fact, we had the pleasure of hosting a water bar at our show Travelux Club last March in Venice. So Marko was the water sommelier, and we were, of course, they were offering water tasting to the participants as well as journalists, and everybody was really interested. Also because through these demonstrations, we can not only uplift the level of the service, but also leverage on the, let's say, the awareness about the importance of water.
I really like how that's giving the experience, but then also helping to shape the mindset to do better in the world. So thank you for that. Right, we're going to move over to Ruriko Suzuki, Japan's aqua sommelier. I worked with Ruriko for a number of years. It was probably the first water sommelier that I met, and we had a 3-hour water tasting via a translator tool. So it does work. She can communicate very well, very knowledgeable. So welcome, Ruriko.
はい、日本の外国的な風景を今日は This is a representative scenery of Japan on the back of me. Please enjoy the picture around Fuji, Mount Fuji. There's a big, very nice place with beautiful water. And Mount Fuji's water is famous. Hi, Milin. So that I'm so happy to be able to meet Milin today. Interpreter will help me. Ladies and gentlemen, panelists, I'm Ruriko Suzuki. I joined from Tokyo or Japan. I'm happy to be able to join International Water Forum.
私からは日本の水文化と食文化を提唱
So I'll talk about Japanese water culture and the food culture. Let me share my screen.
紹介を
let me introduce Aqua Sommelier Association that I belong to. That association, the topic is Japanese water culture and food culture, and write knowledge about water and propagating the knowledge, the target established in 2008.
ミネラルウォーターや飲料水
Mineral water and drinking water's quality, taste, and health effect, and matching with food. We provide the chance to learn water. The main activities are Aqua Sommelier.
ソムリエを育成する
We nurture Aqua Sommelier, and we have Aqua Academia. And another activity is the Japan Aqua Award, the featured award of bottled water. As for the water environment, it is incorporated into academia as educational program. Now there are 1,000 qualified aqua sommelier in Japan, and they are working in the drink company, beverage company, restaurant, hotels, and aesthetic field.
この中で日本の
Today, I'd like to talk about Japanese water culture and food culture, particularly about the influence of Japanese water on Japanese cuisine and sake.
日本の水は水道水も天然
This
水
water is mainly soft water, low mineral content. Japan is an island nation with many volcanoes, and its soil is composed of granite and volcanic ash, which are rocks that do not easily dissolve minerals. Therefore, rain and snow melt, seep into the ground, and become soft water with low hardness. And the characteristics of soft water is very compatible with the Japanese food culture, which values delicate flavors.
スピード大丈夫ですか？はい、例えば鰹節の出汁
For example, the umami component of bonito soup and kelp soup are more easily extracted soft water with fewer minerals.
ミネラルないっ
Uh,
て言ったことで
those soups are the representative of Japanese soup, and resulting in a clear, deep flavor. In hard water, minerals interfere with the extraction of umami, tasty component. Well,
日本の代表的な食であるお米
and the Japanese staple rice is cooked with soft water. The same thing can be said. When we cook rice, we soak rice in water first. By using Japanese soft water, the rice soak a lot of water to become fluffy rice, cooked rice. And sweetness and smell can be enjoyed by Japanese people. And Kyoto's cooking style is a good example. In Kyoto, the cooking style is a Japanese traditional style. The salt, oil, strong spices are not used so much. And tofu or thin paste simmered cooked dishes are based on kelp soup. We don't use so much condiment. We utilize the taste of materials. Like in this way, soft water in Japan brings out the best in the ingredient, supporting the philosophy of Japanese cuisine as an important element, and not just as water, but as a part of the flavor, plays an important role. Next, sake is indispensable to the Japanese food culture. So I'd like to talk about the sake. From the perspective of the potential of water and food, I am particularly interested in the relationship between brewing water, shikomi mizu, used in sake production, and the sake itself. In the ingredient of sake, approximately 80% is water. This means that one of the key factors that significantly influence the taste of sake is water. The main ingredient for making sake are water, sake, sake rice, and koji, malt, and yeast. So as you know, the water contains minerals such as phosphorus, potassium, magnesium, and calcium, which are nutrients for yeast and help the production of alcohol.
アルコールを手助けをしています。ただし、
However, please look at the right side, like iron, and mangan.
日本酒作り、好ましい。
There are also components that are undesirable for sake production. Even a small amount of iron can cause the sake to turn brownish and impair its flavor and aroma. Fortunately, Japan has many water sources with iron and magnesium levels below 0.2 ppm, which are highly suitable for sake production.
そのために、日本の各地の
Additionally, sake breweries across Japan are actively engaged in protecting their water sources. For example, some collaborate with construction companies to preserve underground water flow and water quality during between October to March. There are no construction done based on the contract with the construction companies, and the underground parking lot should not be created to protect high quality of underground water.
に興味がある方、お酒が好きな
And if there are people who are interested in sake, if you are interested in sake, you may know the sake brand Kubota and a brewery of Kubota that has been conducting firefly conservation activities since 1980s. The firefly can live in only the clear water place with the rich natural environment areas where firefly can live are said to have clean water, and such initiative alternatively help preserve clear water and a rich natural environment, supporting the production of high-quality sake. In recent years, some sake breweries are upgrading their brewing water. The number of such breweries is increasing. When we visited the brewery, the brewery water can be tasted recently, and brewery water can be converted into the bottle of water to be sold. And the bottom you can see is a bottle of brewery waters. Those waters are used for a brewery for sake production. The labels are very beautiful, and some are bottled in the glass bottles. To taste the water used in sake can be savored in a better way. There are more and more people who cannot drink alcohol. Those people can experience the world of sake by tasting brewery water. And by tasting brewery water, people can understand the background of sake production and the heart of master of sake producer. This is the summary.
食文化、それから酒造り。
Rico, thank you for that. I think it would be a good time to move to the next panel and see if we can come back to this, because I think it's going to connect very well. The final panel is Estor Oldbauer from the Slovenian Spas, former managing director. Slovenia is full of amazing spas, and in my personal opinion, I think these are the starting point of life, the fountain of youth, and they're all dotted all around Slovenia, and I find it absolutely fascinating. But one thing I've never really understood is where you have spa culture, it's always associated with having a glass of champagne or some wine or some alcoholic drink when you're there to rejuvenate your body with hydrotherapy, with water, with thermal spas. I've never understood it. And hopefully, Esdor, if you could explain the Slovenian spa culture and now the incorporation of actual healthy waters as part of this experience, please.
Thank you very much. And first of all, I would like to extend my congratulations to the organizers of this so important water forum and all the messages that you're taking over. I think it's really valuable for all of us who are not directly from this water, but yet very much involved in the water. When we speak about Slovenian health and spa resorts, we definitely speak about natural remedies that help us in the process of rehabilitation, but not only in rehabilitation, but also in prevention and well-being programs. Now, coming back to your question about the Slovenian spa culture, yes, of course, we can say, a Roman tradition where the first, let's say, spa tourists were actually the Roman soldiers who already found out the beneficial effect of thermal and mineral water. But it is on one side the development which went from the 15th century, where we are tracing the first written evidence documents that are showcasing that the water was already at that time used. But of course, with the knowledge of medicine in the 18th, 19th century, it became essential how important the thermal and mineral waters are for our body, also mind, and to get the balance back. And of course, this is scientifically proven. So all our natural remedies are undergoing analysis, and they are only after they have been proven for effect and side effects, then they can be used in medical treatments. I don't know if you can see on the back of my picture, there is one source of the mineral water, one of the famous mineral waters in Slovenia. I know that Marko has given you a try at Radenska Three Hearts. It's a cardiovascular spa resort, and it's indeed a cardiologist there with the glass of water. So yes, Slovenia has 15 health and spa resorts that are state certified, which means that they have to go all under strict conditions before they are allowed to bear the name Slovenian Natural Spas. And the culture actually began in some places which don't have this longer historical background, like Dobana, the oldest spa from 1403, the first notice, or in Rogaška, or in some other places. But in some younger spas, it was interesting, and not interesting by not just by coincidence that the farmers were the first who found the thermal water coming out, and that they first collected in wooden pools was really very beneficial for all their ages that they have after hard work in the fields, and that it's doing them very well. But yes, we have, for example, in one spa, Termana Laško, 70 years of rehabilitation continuously going on. So we have really on one side historical tradition, but we have also the knowledge. And if you combine this with nature, the result is the top services that are performed in Slovenian health and spa resort. And there, especially, for example, in Radenci, I mentioned this, there's a unique bath that you take in this mineral water. And it is the water is prepared for each client individually. So you have a 20 minutes treatment. And after you're entering through this tube, and then when the water starts to fill up to a certain level, after a few minutes, you start to feel and see bubbles on your whole body. That means that the minerals are really first collecting on your body, but then they are also soaking through the skin, and that is the good let's say, healthy effect of the mineral waters of Slovenia.
Thank you for that. So it's proven to show that instead of sometimes going to your pharmacy to get pills for a headache or something, healthy waters, mineral waters, which have been used for centuries. There's beautiful drinking water cultures from these spas all around the world, and it's actually bringing this back to communities via the discussions from the food and beverage about these waters, all the way back to the source, which Mr. Alba has just outlined. That is all connected, but sometimes in our fast, high-paced lives, we actually forget just taking a step back and looking at the actual essence of water. Panel 5, we debunked elements, but without looking at the marketing, but looking back at history and education, you create your personal drinking water culture, your personal drinking water lifestyle that fits you, not what the marketing men and the big corporates messages that relay. So this is the end of the panel. Is there any questions from the audience? If not, we will move to a very special presentation. This is via Dr. Ko, and we're honored to have Mr. Ko here, as we are every year. Mr. Ko is an honorary professor in the Department of Hospitality and Tourism in Koonggi University. He is also the president of the Korean International Sommelier Association and a very huge title of the father of the Korean water sommelier. I've had the experience of being in South Korea via BWF to see Mr. Ko and the number of students that he has educated to elevate the importance of tap water to drinking water culture. So, Mr. Ko.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm happy to be with you at the BWF again. My name is Jae-young Go. I will give a presentation to you. I'm honored to be here very much. For better presentation, my transport will help me.
I'm Jin Young. I'm also a water sommelier, and also I'm an older student of Mr. Ko, and I'm still working on study for my doctor degree. Thank you.
저는 현재 사단법인 키사의 회장이며 한국 최초로 워터 소믈리에를 만들었고 대학에서 학부, 석사, 박사 과정의 학생들에게 워터 커뮤니케이션을 강의하고 있습니다.
I'm currently the president of KISA, and I was the first to introduce water sommelier to Korea. And in Koonggi University, I established a lecture named Water Sommelier and Water Communication, and teaching students in undergraduate, master, and also PhD course.
오늘은 물의 동양 철학에 대해서 먼저 말씀을 드리겠습니다.
Let me introduce about the origin of life with water.
제가 여러분들에게 질문을 드리겠습니다.
Let me ask you a question.
오늘 아침에 여러분들은 소변을 보셨죠? 그 소변이 언제 마신 물일까요?
Oh, you urinated this morning. When do you think you drank the water that became today's urine?
hand up.
Raise your hand. You gotta pee this morning, right? When do you think you drank the water that became today's urine?
Yeah.
5 weeks.
4, 5 weeks.
Another answer? 3 months ago.
네. 박수 한번 주세요. 자, 오늘 여러분 아침에 소변한 물은 3개월 전에 마신 것으로서 물의 선택이 되게 중요하고 여러분들이 물로 체질을 바꾸려면은 최소한 같은 물로 3개월 이상 마셔야 합니다.
The correct answer is 3 months ago. It means that it takes 3 months for water to improve your health.
여러분 잘 아시다시피 와인은 신이 만들었다고 하지만 물은 창조주가 만들었습니다.
Wine was made by God, but water was created by the Creator.
1781년 영국의 물리학자 헨리 카벤디시와 스웨덴의 화학자 엔스 아코스 베레실리우스는 그의 연구를 기반으로 물 분자의 수와 산소 비율이 2대1라는 사실을 입증하고 H2O라고 규정하였습니다.
A British physicist, Henry Cavendish, and a Swedish chemist, John Jacob Berzelius, discovered the structure of water composed of 2 hydrogen atoms and 1 oxygen atom and revealed the water molecules exist in clusters.
고대 그리스 시대 탈레스는 만물의 근원이 물이라고 하여 이론설을 주장하였고 아리스토텔레스는 만물의 근원이 땅, 물, 공기, 불이라고 주장하면서 사원설을 주장했습니다.
In ancient Greece, Thales proposed the monad theory, asserting that water is the origin of all things. Aristotle, claiming the origin of all things lies in 4 fundamental elements: earth, water, air, and fire.
중국 고대 철학에서 오행은 그 첫째가 물이고 둘째는 불이고 셋째는 나무고 넷째는 금이고 다섯째는 흙이라고 하였으며 간제책에는 물이 만물의 근원이고 수생 만물론을 주장했습니다.
In ancient Chinese philosophy, there exists a cosmological theory of the universe's origin too. In the book Guanja it is asserted that water is origin of all things, advocating the theory that all things are born from water, named 수생 만물론.
모든 생물도 바닷물에서 태어났습니다. 사람의 어머니는 물로, 사람도 물에서 태어났다고 합니다. 환자로 사람인 어미모, 물수이며 그러면 어떤 물일까요?
Just as all living creatures were born from the sea, so too was the human being born from water through the mother. The left Chinese character means human, middle one means mother, right one means sea. What kind of water does this imply here?
자, 그래서 여러분들 그 한문에서 그 바다 해자로 사람은 바닷물에서 태어났습니다.
Combining those 3, you can get the Chinese character for sea. Humans were born from the sea water.
춘추시대 제나라 사상가 정치가인 간중의 저술한 간자책에는 물이 만물의 근원이며 모든 생물의 종실도 인간도 물로 만들었다는 수생 만물론을 주장하였습니다.
In the book Guanja, written by Guanzhong, was a philosopher and statesman of the state Qi during the spring and autumn period in China. He said that water is the origin of all things, and humans too are made of water. It is a theory known as all things are born of water, named 수생 만물론.
그래서 여러분들이 태어난 어머니의 양수는 해양 심청수이고 그 해양 심청수는 우리 몸에 사용할 수 있는 식염수입니다.
That means amniotic fluid of water means the same as deep sea water is the same as saline.
다음은 그 물과 신앙에 관해서 말씀을 드리겠습니다.
Let me talk about water and spirituality.
한국인은 아기가 태어나면 북두칠성인 칠성신께 기도하는 이유가 무엇인지 아십니까?
Koreans in the past prayed to Chilsung, the seven-star god of the Big Dipper, upon the birth of a child. Do you know the reason?
한국의 사람들은 북두칠성은 국자로 하늘의 은하수인 생명의 물을 아기에게 줘서 무병장수할 수 있다고 믿었습니다.
The Big Dipper is believed to scoop the water of life from the heavenly Milky Way and give it to baby, granting them health and longevity.
한국에서 물이 좋다는 의미는 남자는 건강하고 여자는 아름다워서 결혼 후에 아기를 생산할 수 있는 것을 의미합니다.
In Korea, when people say the water is good, in a metaphorical way, they often mean that the men are healthy and women are beautiful, making it an ideal place for marriage and having children.
즉, 한국에서 물이 좋다는 의미는 미남 미녀들이 만나서 아기를 생산하는 것을 의미합니다.
It means metaphorically a handsome man and beautiful woman in Korea.
다음은 한국에서 많이 사용하는 물과 풍수지리에 대해서 말씀드리겠습니다.
Now move on to water and feng shui.
풍수는 세 가지로 분류하는데 그 중에 좋은 자리는 길지로 명당이라고 합니다. 양택은 치토가 좋은 곳을 의미하며 양택의 네 가지 조건은 첫째 지리, 둘째 주변 산세, 셋째 인심, 넷째 아름다운 상가, 물이 있어야 합니다.
Feng shui is categorized into three types. Favorable site means excellent site called gilji. In feng shui, if you want to find a location with favorable housing condition, there are four essential requirements. Number one is geography. Number two is a good mountain formation. Number three is a good-hearted people neighbor. Last, number four, beautiful mountain.
예를 들면 중국 송나라 풍수국사 오경란이 장시성 의안년의 강계령 고기를 지나갈 때 갈증이 나서 제자 홍사랑을 시켜서 산속의 물맛이 어떤지를 찾게 하는데 아주 귀한 맛을 찾았습니다. 그래서 귀한 터에 유명한 사람이 태어난다고 예언했는데 이 집에서 성리학의 대가인 주의가 태어났습니다.
Ugyangnan, a renowned feng shui master of the Song dynasty in China, passed through Gwanggyeong. When he was thirsty during his journey, his disciple Hong Sarang found a very good spring deep in the mountain. After that, Juhi, a famous master of Neo-Confucianism, was born there.
한국의 고려시대 스님이었던 진울이 전북 완주의 종량 산업을 지나다가 신령스러운 물을 마셔보고 송강사를 낙점했는데 수점의 불도가 있었으며 현재 한국의 최대 사찰이 되었습니다.
Jinul was a national preceptor of the Goryeo dynasty, passed by Jongnam Mountain in Wanju in Korea. At Nursujala province, he drank a sacred spring and chose a Songgangsa temple as the site. After that, thousands of Buddhist practitioners have gathered there, and Songgangsa became one of the biggest temples now.
풍수지리에서 박삼편에 의하면 명당 기운을 위한 물맛 평가가 필수입니다. 좋은 집의 우물은 물의 색깔은 푸르고 맛이 달고 향기로워야 한다고 하였습니다.
In the Baeksan chapter of a feng shui text, tasting the water is essential to evaluate the energy of a propitious site. The color of water should be bluish with a sweet and fragrant taste.
여러분들이 집에서 물로 알아보는 명당 집터 혹은 아파트를 구입할 때 수돗물, 정수기 물맛이 청량하고 향기로운 맛이 있어야 좋은 집터입니다.
You can identify if the living auspicious home or not through water quality. The taste and quality of water at home can offer subtle clues about the energy of a place.
다음은 물과 건강에 대해서 여러분들에게 말씀드리겠습니다.
Now I'm gonna move on to water and health.
몸속에서 육각수, 중성으로 존재하고자 노력하며 모든 질병의 원인은 물에 기인합니다.
Water can respond to human consciousness. Its crystals reflect the nature of the energy it received.
바의 골든 벼르건은 바가 신세졌던 골드 벼르건님을 위해서 감사의 뜻을 담아서 바친 곡입니다. 이 곡의 모양은 옆에 있는 사진과 같습니다.
With Bach, Goldberg variation, the structure of water became hexagonal in gratitude for his kindness.
쇼팽의 이별곡으로 그 노래를 듣게 되면 아주 슬프기 때문에 물의 육각체가 슬프게 분산되는 그림이 옆에 있습니다.
With Chopin, etude in E, the hexagonal structure of water dispersed sadly with the song of farewell.
자, 그리고 고맙습니다. 이렇게 말을 하면 매우 아름답고 잘 균형 잡힌 아름다운 모습으로 그 물의 형태가 보입니다.
When you say thank you, a very beautiful and well-balanced water crystal form in response to expression of gratitude and a thankful heart.
그리고 나는 너를 괴롭히겠어, 죽여버리겠어. 이렇게 하면 물의 결정이 추하게 회복되어 깨지고 고통스러워하는 그림으로 보입니다.
When you say I will kill you, water crystal become destroyed, fragmented, and unpleasant.
자, 물은 환경과 계절, 언어, 음악 등에 따라서 다양한 형태로 이렇게 바뀝니다.
Water changes form depending on the environment, season, language, music, and other factors.
여러분들이 좋은 물을 마시고 긍정적인 사고로 살아가는 것이 곧 건강을 지키는 일입니다.
Always living with positivity, love, and gratitude brings happiness and good health.
자, 유리병에 똑같은 생수를 따르고 하나의 그라스는 긍정적인 걸, 또 하나 그라스는 부정적인 것을 써서 두게 되면 물맛과 물의 형태가 바뀝니다. 우리는 늘 긍정적이고 사랑과 감사하는 마음으로 건강을 지키는 것이 중요합니다.
If you pour the same water into two glasses, one with a positive note and other with a negative note, the taste and shape of the water will change differently.
또 고구마를 실험했을 때도 긍정적인 언어를 사용하면 고구마 잎이 무성해지고 부정적인 언어를 사용하면 잎이 자라지 못합니다. 결론적으로 우리 몸의 70%가 물이기 때문에 긍정 혹은 부정적인 언어를 사용하면 건강 혹은 질병에 노출됩니다.
There was also an experiment conducted with sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes that were spoken to positively grew large leaves, while those that were spoken to negatively did not. In conclusion, 70% of our body is made of water, so positive and negative language can bring good health or disease to you.
사람은 태어나서 노화가 진행되면서 체내 수분이 줄어드는 현상으로 어린이는 97%, 노인은 50%로 줄어들기 때문에 주름살이 생깁니다. 즉, 수분의 상실은 노화를 의미합니다.
As people age, the amount of water in their bodies decreases. When children are born, their bodies contain 97% water, but by the time they reach old age, this amount decreases to 50%, causing wrinkles to form. In other words, water losing is aging.
자, 이제는 생활 속에 먹는 샘물에 대해서 설명을 드리도록 하겠습니다.
Let's discuss bottled water in daily life.
인간은 음료수나 음식 같은 다양한 방법으로 먹는 샘물을 섭취하며 우리가 늘 먹는 음식이나 음료를 더욱 맛있게 먹고 마시기 위해서는 물의 성질을 잘 파악하고 좋은 물을 사용하는 것이 필요합니다.
Humans consume bottled water in many forms through beverage, cooking, and daily meals. To fully enjoy the taste of food and drinks, it's essential to understand the character of the water and choose high-quality sources.
한국에 생산되는 지역별 먹는 샘물의 특성을 분석해 보면 각 지역마다 물의 미네랄이 다르기 때문에 지역별로 두부, 막걸리, 양식장, 화장품 등의 품질이 다르게 생산됩니다.
When analyzing water from different regions of Korea, the mineral content of water varies from region to region, resulting in this difference in the quality of tofu, makgeolli, fish, and cosmetics.
자, 생활 속에 먹는 샘물 활용법에 대해서 설명을 드리도록 하겠습니다.
Move on to how to use bottled water in daily life.
자, 동양에서는 밥을 지은 쌀은 신토부리 원칙에 따라 지역별로 먹는 샘물의 사용을 고려하는 것이 중요하면서 그래서 한국과 일본에서는 밥 소믈리에가 있습니다.
To choose, consider using locally sourced spring water that match the origin of the rice in line with the local food for local people principle. Japanese and Korean rice sommelier also emphasize water quality as essential for perfect rice.
음식 맛 균형을 맞추기 위해서는 연수와 경수로 구분해서 사용합니다. 연수는 동양 음식, 즉 한국 음식과 일본 음식에 잘 어울리고 경수는 서양 음식, 즉 이탈리아, 스페인, 프랑스, 슬로베니아 등의 음식에 적합합니다.
To choose good water for cooking, you need balanced flavors with the right water hardness. Soft water is best for Asian cuisine like Korean and Japanese. Hard water is recommended for Western cuisine like Italian and Spanish.
자, 커피에 대해서 좀 설명을 드리도록 하겠습니다. 커피 나무는 두 종류로 아라비카와 로부스타가 전 세계 70개국에서 재배되고 있습니다. 커피의 90에서 98%를 차지하는 물, 커피 맛에 강한 물의 영향이 매우 크기 때문에 커피를 추출할 때는 중경수, 경수를 사용해서는 문제가 발생합니다.
There are two main species of coffee, Arabica and Robusta, grown in 70 countries, flavored heavily influenced by water quality. Moderately hard or very hard water cause problems with the taste of coffee.
온도에 로스팅되는 물의 선택은 원두를 오랫동안 로스팅하면 신맛이 약해지고 쓴맛이 강해집니다. 로스팅을 짧게 하는 것을 좋아하는 사람은 중경수를 사용하며 로스팅을 길게 하는 것을 좋아하는 사람은 경수를 추천합니다.
Choosing the right water for your coffee, you also need to consider roast level. For light roast, use moderately hard water. For dark roast, use soft water.
미국 스페셜 커피 협회에서는 커피에 사용하는 물은 정수수, 먹는 샘물이며 정유주는 추천하지 않습니다. 물속의 TDS는 100에서 175mg 리터 정도가 가능하며 100mg 리터 이하가 좋습니다. 250mg 리터 이상은 사용하지 않도록 권장하며 연수에서 중경수 수준일 때 커피 맛을 더 좋게 하고 무기질 축적물을 제거하지 않아도 되며 브루의 수명을 연장시켜줍니다.
Specialty Coffee Association of America recommend for brewing coffee water. Recommended number 1 is a cup water type. Please use filtered or bottled spring water and avoid distilled water because it lacks essential minerals. Number 2 is TDS. Ideal TDS means below 100 milligram per liter. Please avoid over 250 milligram per liter TDS. Number 3 is water hardness. Soft to moderated hard is the best. It enhances flavor, prevents mineral buildup, and protects equipment.
수돗물은 염소가 함유된 물로 사용하지 않는 것이 좋습니다. 커피 추출에 사용된 물은 염소 맛이 나고 당연히 커피의 맛에도 큰 영향을 미칩니다.
Also, you should avoid using tap water when making coffee. It causes problems with the taste of the coffee.
티에 대해서 말씀드리겠습니다. 당나라 차의 성인 유구는 차를 우려낼 때 사용하는 물은 차 재배지에 차세 나오는 물을 사용해야 되며 영국의 유명한 존 브로펠트는 중국 차를 평생 연구한 전문가입니다. 차를 재배한 지역의 물로 차를 우려야 진정한 차 전문가라고 합니다.
I'm gonna talk about good water for brewing tea. Yugu, known as the master of tea in China, Tang Dynasty, said the finest water for tea is spring water from the very mountain where the tea is grown. John Blofeld, sinologist, said that you must brew the tea with the water from the region where it was cultivated.
차와 미네랄이 함유된 먹는 샘물의 관계에서 홍차는 중경수로 60에서 120ml가 가장 좋습니다.
We need to think about relationship between tea and mineral. Black tea is good with moderately hard water.
연수는 차가 가진 고유 향도 충분히 끌어내고 차가운 풍미를 가질 수 있지만 약경수는 향이 약간 진해진 느낌을 주면서 탕색은 진하게 우려넣어야 높은 색감을 줄 수 있습니다. 중경수는 맛과 향이 강한 차에 적합한 물로 차를 우리면 맛이 완화되거나 향도 약해집니다.
Soft water highlights the tea's natural aroma, resulting in a crisp and refreshing flavor. Slightly hard water enhances aroma and deepens the liquor color, adding visual richness. Moderately hard water is best for black tea because it softens taste and mutes the aroma.
맥주 맛은 우리 자월만큼 물이 95% 정도가 됩니다. 맥주 제조에 있어서 물의 미네랄 성분이 매우 중요한 역할을 하며 물의 경도와 pH는 맥주의 색깔과 맛에 영향을 미칩니다.
I'm gonna talk about good water for brewing beer. Up to 95% of beer is water, a key factor influencing its taste. Mineral composition of water plays a crucial role. Water hardness and pH affect beer's color and taste.
예를 들면 벨기에는 세계적 맥주의 본고장으로 지하수를 사용하여 미네랄이 매우 적고 물 분자 구조가 작은 연수를 사용하여 최상의 다양한 맥주 맛을 내고 있습니다.
For example, Belgium used groundwater with a low mineral content and soft water with small molecular clusters, producing a wide range of exceptional beer flavor.
위스키는 스코틀랜드에서 보리를 종류하여 만드는 술입니다. 영국 스코틀랜드 깨끗한 물, 거친 땅에 자라난 보리가 위스키 양주에 매우 중요하며 스코틀랜드 위스키를 양조하는 마스터는 최고의 몰트 위스키가 스코틀랜드 위스키와 다른 위스키와 차별화되는 큰 이유는 물의 선택이라고 하였습니다.
Whiskey is distilled from barley and pure water from the Scottish Highland. Master distillers agree the choice of water is what sets the finest mulled whiskey apart. Water is the hidden ingredient in whiskey excellence.
스코틀랜드의 지하수는 TDS가 130mg 리터 이하이고 경도가 100mg 리터 이하로 위스키에 혼합하면 약간의 단면스 풍미를 지닌 부드럽고 드라이한 스타일의 위스키가 탄생하게 됩니다.
Scottish groundwater TDS under 130 mg per liter. Hardness is under 100 mg per liter. It produces a smooth, dry whiskey with a subtle sweetness.
한국의 막걸리 양조에서 가장 중요한 핵심 요소가 물입니다. 예로부터 동네에서 막걸리 양조의 우물이 가장 좋은 물로 인정했으며 막걸리 양조장의 물맛이 막걸리 품질을 좌우한다고 하였습니다.
Water is the most critical factor in makgeolli in brewing in Korea. Traditionally, well water from local breweries was regarded as the best. The taste of the water directly influenced the quality of makgeolli.
이것으로 모두 마치겠습니다.
Thank you for listening. We appreciate your time and attention.
Thanks.
Thank you.